Welcome to the Mountain View Pure Podcast, where your journey to exceptional water quality begins. Here's your host, Dan Toth, owner of Mountain View Pure Water. They proudly serve homeowners in the Tri-Cities and beyond, offering advanced water and air purification solutions that support a healthier lifestyle. The mission is clear, helping you get great water.
Choosing between a whole home system and a point-of-use filter comes down to what contaminants you're targeting and how much coverage you need. Welcome back, everyone. Skip Monty, co-host / producer, back in the studio with owner of Mountain View Pure Water, Dan Toth. Dan, how's it going?
Doing well, Skip.
Dan, great to be back with you. Homeowners have so many options when it comes to water filtration, and understanding the differences between a whole home system and a point of use system can make all the difference. So what is the difference between a point of use and or point of entry, and whole home system?
Okay, so most people are familiar with a point of use system. That would be a carbon filter that they put on the shower head, goes on the faucet, maybe a reverse osmosis system. Maybe it would be a countertop system that they pour water into and it filters for them. So that's typically what people think of when they think of water treatment, just for their drinking water or what they're showering in. And on the flip side, a point of entry system typically filters the water that comes into the entire house. So every faucet, every fixture, every appliance has this filtered water. If you have chlorine and chemicals, maybe you want carbon filtration for the entire house. If you have hard water, you want a softener that softens for the entire house. If you, my thought is, if you have a need for ultraviolet, you want the ultraviolet system to filter for the whole house. I don't want to be brushing my teeth or showering in water that's contaminated because I only put the ultraviolet system for the sink or for a reverse osmosis system. So those are the sorts of things that we run into, that people are not always sure of what system I want to buy, what system should I get for my family, because there's all these different products and I'm not sure what to buy. And they typically will default to a point of use system because they're only thinking about the concern of what am I drinking or what is pouring on me in the shower. And so that's typically what people default to.
Well, what maintenance is required for each type of system? And by the way, I said point of entry. I
That's
meant
right.
point of use.
Yes.
So what kind of maintenance is required for each type of system?
Okay, so oh my goodness, this can go on for a long time, so I'll try to keep it short. Point of use systems, a lot of the time people have point of use systems which are just basically a carbon filter or something like that they put on the shower head or they put underneath the kitchen sink that filters the water that they're actually using for maybe cooking or cleaning fruits and vegetables, things like that. Those systems are typically throwaway canisters, and then you buy a new one, you put your money out, you buy a new one, you replace it, and then you use it, and you buy another new one and replace it and use it. And so there's a certain amount of money that's out of pocket every time you change those out. Well, something that's more effective is a system that would clean itself. So when we look at whole house systems, I love to point people to a system that is going to be good for 10, 15, 20, 25 years because it is self-cleaning. So think about maybe you want to put a filter on your whole home to remove the chlorine or bromine chemicals and taste and odors from city water. You might look at a carbon filter system that's 2 feet tall and the water for your whole house goes in and comes out of it. And that system may take the chemicals, taste and odor out for a year or two, but then you've got to replace it. If I instead put in a system that was twice or 3 times the size of that, and it also had an automatic backwash or automatic cleaning cycle, that might last 15 years to do the same job. So those are the sorts of things that I try to encourage people to do, is make sure that you can um, get the most out of what you've paid for. These are investments that we typically think of as expenses, but I love to tell people a water treatment system for your home, whether it's a drinking water system, reverse osmosis, or it's a whole house system that softens the water. These are two investments that literally will save you money, and you can expect a return on investment, a full ROI, within about 5 years of either one of these in your home, because you're currently spending money on other filtration or bottled water or extra soaps and cleaning products in your home. And so there's an amount of money that you're spending currently because of the water quality that's coming into your house, whether you're on city or well water. And having the right kind of filtration equipment, softening equipment as your point of entry into the home, and having drinking water equipment, which is your point of use for cooking, for all the water that you drink, for even rinsing fruits and vegetables, because we have a lot of chemicals on stuff that we buy from the store these days, and so rinsing it with a higher quality of water rinses more of that junk off. Those sorts of things are expenses that we have to endure because we're already paying something. We're either buying extra soaps and cleaning products because of the poor water quality, or we're buying bottled water because we can't stand to put the water that comes out of the faucet to our mouth. And so those sorts of things, we've already changed our buying habits to account for the poor water quality. Well, having a water treatment system in the home allows you to have better quality water at an investment up front. So over time, that investment will pay for itself in the savings that you experience. And it's a much better way to go, because you don't have. What's your solution to buying bottled water? When are you going to stop buying bottled water? And if they continue to raise the price, or someone like Nestle or Coca-Cola, who literally owns water rights in multiple countries around the world, what if they say, oh, now you have to pay more for water, and you don't have a better solution than to continue to buy their product? There's also the microplastics that we know are in those, and often the water doesn't actually have the standard of quality that we want to be drinking. So having a point of use system in our home is really the best method to solve this riddle of how do I stop paying for somebody else's bottled water.
Yeah, we don't want to get into the microplastics. That's scary. That's another scary thing. So I was going to ask you about the cost differences between the two. I would imagine the difference between having multiple point of use filters is going to be more expensive than a whole home system, because you're buying filters for every point of use.
Yeah, it does seem like having multiple filters to replace endlessly would be more expensive than having a centralized system where all the water that comes into the house is filtered and then goes to every point of use. So having a whole house system or a point of entry system, in the long run, when you think about waste products or wasted containers and filters and just mechanisms that you use them and then you throw them away, that's a lot of waste, and it's expense and it's maintenance. So is your time valuable? Yes. You don't want to do maintenance all the time. And so having a point of entry system that treats all the water in the house is a huge benefit, because those systems can run for decades without needing maintenance. I know that the systems that we provide have up to a 25-year warranty. And so when you provide a warranty like that, the thing just, it's expected to work. And so having a whole home system that filters out chlorine, taste, odors, chemicals, heavy metals, lead, hardness minerals, things that cause your home to be dirty, cause smells and odors when you shower that taste bad. That's all. That stuff can be removed by a single product at the point of entry to your home. And so then all of the points of use of your faucets and fixtures are all filtered at the same time. And then if you want to, you can take a system like that and add to it a point of use system like a reverse osmosis, where it removes vastly more contaminants than the point of entry system is able to remove. And that gives you really pristine drinking water that tastes great for your whole family. And you know that the contaminants like herbicides, pesticides, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, all that, those things are actually removed from that water. So you know that you're getting a pure source of water for your home and your family.
Wow. And this is backing up a little bit, but I'm sure I know the answer to this question. I know, I've lived in places in apartments when I was younger and had city water. Now you're drinking out of glass.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Just checking.
Reverse osmosis water from home.
There you go. There you go. But a lot of times when you have city water, there's a lot of chlorine in that water, and it can be an irritant in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Like can a whole home system eliminate that?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, a lot of people have gone to the route of these shower filters, and they might have like a vitamin C in them, which can energize you. It can have different chemicals and filters in there to remove things from the water. And so a lot of people go that route because you can probably pick up one of these shower filters for, I don't know, $20, $30, maybe even less. And for 4 to 6 months, you have what feels like great water, or what smells better at least. But if you have that system on your whole house, every shower in the house is now filtered. You've removed not only the chemicals and bad odor from the water, but you can also soften it. So when you're in that shower, you can save money on soaps and soaps products and conditioners and shampoos and things like that. You use a whole lot less when you have softened water. So there's a real creature comfort benefit to having whole house filtration over just the filter on the shower head, because that doesn't typically soften the water when you have just a point of use filter. Point of entry, you can soften all the water in the house, and it really provides an excellent to the body of cleanliness and soft skin and hair.
It's amazing when you go from a water system that is not a whole home system or UV treated to one that is, and it's amazing the difference in how the water actually feels, like you just mentioned. Like you can actually tell a difference how it feels on your skin.
Well, and there's a reality that the minerals that are left in the water, if you don't soften the water, those minerals bond with the soaps that you use to form soap scum or soap curd. And that soap scum is stuck. You can probably see it if you have a glass shower, or if you when you wash your dishes in the dishwasher. If you don't use jet dry or something to remove that, you see the buildup on your dishes. And so that's soap bonded with the mineral, the leftover hardness that's in the water. So if you remove that hardness, you don't any longer have that soap scum. And that soap scum, besides being on the things that we can see that are glass, it's also in our clothing. It's also on our skin. It's also in your hair. Ladies know this because that's why they have these extra cleaning shampoos to remove that stuff, because it builds up in their hair and makes it unmanageable. And so these are sorts of things that I wish every hairstylist understood about soft water. They'd be sending people to me all the time, because so many people buy very expensive salon shampoos and conditioners that are very expensive. It could cost $50 to $100 a month for some ladies to buy these products. And for that same amount of money, they could have all the water in their home filtered and treated, and then they could buy less of the product.
Well, with good water, I imagine I've always heard my wife used to tell me it only takes a dime size of shampoo if the water's good, but if it's really hard water, that you got to use a bucket full.
That's correct. That's correct. You fill up your whole hand and then maybe go for seconds.
Yeah.
But people are used to that. And I think that's one of the reasons that they neglect to look into this issue is we grow up and we're just used to using all this extra soap and cleaning products. We're just used to putting conditioners on our skin because the skin is dry and cracking. We're just used to buying a salon product instead of some cheaper product line because it has other softeners and conditioners in that salon product that compensates for the poor water quality. But if we were to look into fixing the water quality instead of spending more money on products, we would be much happier, healthier, and safer because all of those things that are put in these salon products and high-end soaps and cleaning products, they're harsh chemicals. And that's not good for us because whatever you put on your skin gets into your body. And it's better to remove contaminants from the water than to add more to cover it up.
Great note to end on. Man, choosing the right filtration system can feel overwhelming, but you've laid it out pretty clearly for me in the last couple of episodes what can happen if you don't do this. So thanks again for sharing your expertise, and we'll try to get a word to all the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just one last thing. If I didn't make it clear, I would definitely suggest both whole home system, which is your point of entry, and purification system for your drinking water or your point of use. That is the best method to make sure that you remove contaminants from your life.
Very good. Well, we appreciate the recommendation, and we'll see what we can do to get the word out from the podcast to all the beauticians in the Tri-Cities on, hey, send more folks this way. Absolutely. All right, Dan, you have a great one, man. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Skip. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for joining us on the Mountain View Pure podcast. When you're ready to transform your home's water and air quality, call or text 423-218-9361 for a free in-home consultation. For more information, visit mvpwater.net. Remember, great water is the foundation of a great life.